Alright, so we're good now, guys. Now we're going to go over into the drying phase. Now this is probably where the most advancements come in car cleaning in my generation anyways. Back in my day we used to always clean with a chamois. A chamois is about the worst product that you can use on a car. You got to think of a chamois like a second skin, okay? And so when you're cleaning a car, what you're trying to do is you're trying to have as little pressure on that surface as possible. A chamois is almost like a second skin and just grips onto there. And so if you've got any grit left over, it just drags that across your paint, okay? So nowadays what we use is we use microfiber cleaning cloths, okay? These drying cloths. And so they're a very, very high GSM product, and they basically glide across the top, okay? So you're not really putting much pressure on the car at all, and absorbs all that moisture. So grab some of those out. Alright guys, so these are the microfiber drying towels we're talking about. So you've got products like the Big Softy, and you've got the Big Green Sucker. Fantastic. Okay, these come in a number of different varieties. The higher GSM, the softer the product, the better it is. Okay, obviously you want something that's going to pick up and take that water off. You need a couple of these cloths. Generally, you can't clean it with just one cloth. You probably need about 2 up to 3 of these cloths just to do one car. And then you want to be cleaning these after each time, okay, because it's really important, because this is the last step, okay, so you don't want any dirt on these at all. So you don't want these touching the ground. It's got to be really careful when you're drying this that you don't let them scrape across the ground, otherwise you're going to pick up that dirt and drag it across your car. So it's obviously what we're trying to avoid. Rommel's also going to talk to you about another product that you can actually apply while you're doing that drying process. So if you want to talk about that, Rommel?
So guys, there's 2 options for you to dry your car. There's a lot. What we're going to demonstrate here today is using a thing called a drying aid. So one of the drying aids that Bowden's own has is Boss Cloths. So this is probably the most popular one. There's a few others out there called Afterglow and what have you, but I think this is a general purpose one. They also use this on classic cars, so it's quite nice and gentle on really sensitive stage 1 paint. What this will do is actually supercharge this microfiber cloth in that it almost literally just sucks the water off the panels. And not only that, but it also actually coats it a little bit and adds a bit of water hydrophobic type qualities. It's not going to be fully hydrophobic like your ceramic paint, but it's going to add a fair bit of nice gloss, as per se, on the actual panel. So you can either do it just with the cloth, or you can actually use specific drying aids to actually do that finishing touch. So the way we do that now is literally, as per the instruction, spray about 5 to 6 on this, and literally glide the fibre cloth with no weight across. Obviously Mark's car's got some crevices in there which we need to actually go through, but no different to how we were washing the car, nice long straight lines. So we need to avoid doing different directions in order to actually preserve the paint of this car.
So you can see the difference between the products that we're using now, so these microfiber drying cloths as opposed to a chamois. So this cloth is actually just gliding across the top of the surface. It's not actually applying very much pressure at all to that paintwork. A chamois will actually grip to it, and you can actually feel it stick and pull across the top of the car's paintwork. So that's the main difference between where we used to do drying on cars and where we are now. Okay, so you're just trying to do that glide across the top to try and inflict no damage to your paint. So really what we're demonstrating today, guys, is as close to the gold standard as you can do. Okay, so obviously everybody's got time constraints and everything else like that, so anything that you can do, any of this advice that you can sort of take on board will help protect your paint, but it's got to be what works for you. Okay, so nobody has like an hour, 2 hours to clean the car every week. Okay, our general maintenance and weekly maintenance is the best. So if you can clean your car once a week, that's better than cleaning it sort of once a month. So, any of these tips and tricks that you can sort of take on board, what we've sort of demonstrated here today is what works for us, okay, with the tools that we have. But obviously this can be adapted for the tools that you have at home and the time that you have as well. Okay? So we'll just continue to dry this now and be with you at the end.